Hey everyone, and welcome to Dinar Today. I'm so glad you're here with us because today we have something important to discuss. If you're holding Iraqi Dinar, what I'm about to share with you could be critical for your investment strategy going forward. This isn't speculation. This isn't rumor. These are real signals coming from Washington that every single dinar holder needs to understand right now. Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, welcome to Dinar Today, where we cut through the noise and bring you clear, factual information about the Iraqi dinar market. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. And if you find this information valuable, show some love with a like and share this with other dinar holders who need to hear this message. Now, let's get right into it. The Iraqi dinar has been one of the most talked about investment opportunities for years now. Thousands of investors around the world have purchased dinar with the hope that Iraq's economic recovery would lead to a significant revaluation of their currency. Some people bought in years ago, others more recently. But everyone holding dinar shares the same question. When will we see real movement, and how will we know when it's happening? Here's what makes today's update so significant. We're starting to see coordinated signals from Washington, from government officials, financial regulators, and policy advisors that suggest something substantial may be developing behind the scenes. These aren't the typical vague statements or political rhetoric we've heard before. These are specific indicators that point to preparation, coordination, and systematic planning around the dinar market. Let me break down what we're seeing. First and foremost, there's an unmistakable focus on stability and order. Officials in Washington have been working closely with international financial institutions to monitor Iraq's financial system, including their banking networks, currency exchanges, and monetary policy framework. What's crucial to understand here is that this level of attention doesn't happen without reason. When major financial powers start coordinating this carefully, it's because they're anticipating significant market movement and they want to ensure it happens in a controlled, orderly manner. This is actually excellent news for investors like you and me. Why? Because it means that if and when changes occur, whether that's a revaluation, a policy shift, or new exchange mechanisms, the systems will be in place to handle it properly. We're not talking about chaotic, unpredictable market conditions. We're talking about a managed process with oversight, which protects investors and ensures legitimacy. The second major signal we are seeing is an emphasis on transparency and official communication channels. Washington has been making it clear that any legitimate announcements or updates regarding the Iraqi dinar will come through verified official sources. This is incredibly important because the dinar market has been flooded with misinformation, rumors, and frankly, a lot of scams over the years. People have been taken advantage of, and that's unacceptable. What this signal tells us is that the powers that be recognize this problem and are taking steps to ensure that when real news breaks, investors will know it's authentic. This means you should be extremely cautious about what you read on social media, random forums, or unofficial websites claiming to have inside information. The only information you should act on is information that comes from verified government sources, recognized financial institutions, or official announcements from Iraqi monetary authorities. Now here's where things get really interesting. We're also seeing indications that financial institutions, both domestic and international, are actively preparing for potential changes in the dinar market. This includes major banks, authorized exchange centers, and international financial partners. These institutions are reportedly being briefed on verification procedures, exchange protocols, and the logistical requirements for handling what could be a significant volume of dinar transactions. Think about what this means. Banks don't invest time and resources preparing for hypothetical scenarios that have no basis in reality. When you see coordinated preparation across multiple financial institutions in different countries, that's a strong signal that something concrete is being planned. These institutions are setting up the infrastructure to handle dinar exchanges efficiently and securely, which suggests they've received guidance that such exchanges may be needed in the foreseeable future. So what does all of this mean for you as a dinar holder? Let me give you some practical, actionable guidance that will put you in the best possible position to respond when official changes are announced. First and most importantly, you need to get your documentation in order right now. Don't wait until announcements are made. Prepare today. What documentation am I talking about? You'll need valid government-issued identification, proof of ownership for your dinar holdings, bank account information, and potentially tax identification numbers depending on your jurisdiction. Different banks and exchange centers may have slightly different requirements. So it's worth calling ahead to authorized institutions in your area to ask what specific documents they'll need. Having all of this prepared and organized in advance will save you enormous amounts of time and stress when the system opens for exchanges. Trust me. You don't want to be scrambling to find documents when time-sensitive opportunities are available. Get ahead of this now. Second, you absolutely must commit to staying informed through official channels only. I cannot stress this enough. The amount of misinformation circulating about the dinar is staggering, and it's designed to create confusion, panic, and in some cases, to scam vulnerable investors. Your best defense is to follow only verified sources, official government websites, statements from recognized Iraqi financial authorities, announcements from your country's treasury or financial regulatory bodies, and communications from established, authorized banks. Create a system for yourself. Bookmark official websites, set up alerts for announcements from relevant government agencies, and establish a relationship with a bank that you know will be authorized to handle dinar exchanges. Being connected to the right information sources ensures you can act quickly and confidently when real news breaks. Third, you need to understand the exchange process before it happens. When Washington signals turn into actual policy changes and exchange windows open, you don't want to be learning how the system works for the first time. Research now which banks and redemption centers in your area are likely to be authorized for dinar exchanges. Understand their hours of operation, whether they require appointments, what their verification procedures look like, and how they handle large transactions. Some investors have significant dinar holdings that could represent substantial value if revaluation occurs. If you're in this category, you need to understand that large exchanges may trigger additional verification requirements, compliance checks, or reporting obligations. Knowing what to expect eliminates surprises and helps the process go smoothly. Let's talk about timing for a moment, because this is critical. Signals from Washington, like the ones we're seeing now, typically precede official action by anywhere from a few days to several weeks. This is your preparation window. This is the time when smart investors get everything ready so that when announcements are made, they're positioned to act immediately without hesitation or confusion. History has shown us repeatedly that being early in taking action during currency events can make a significant difference in outcomes. I'm not suggesting you need to panic or rush, quite the opposite. I'm saying that calm, methodical preparation right now puts you ahead of the curve and ensures you can respond strategically when the time comes. Security is another absolutely critical consideration. One of the most important aspects of Washington's coordination with financial institutions is ensuring that exchanges happen through secure, verified channels. This protects investors from fraud, scams, and errors that could cost you dearly. When official exchange systems are activated, using authorized banks and following established procedures guarantees that your dinar is handled correctly and that you receive accurate value for your holdings. I want to be very clear about this. If someone approaches you with an opportunity to exchange dinar through unofficial channels, promising better rates or faster processing, that is almost certainly a scam. Legitimate exchanges will happen through established, regulated financial institutions with proper oversight. There are no shortcuts, and anyone promising otherwise is likely trying to defraud you. Now let's consider the international perspective, because this is relevant for many dinar holders. If you're holding dinar outside of Iraq, you might be wondering how exchanges would work in your country. The good news is that Washington's coordination extends to international financial networks. Major banks in multiple countries are receiving guidance on how to process dinar exchanges if and when that becomes necessary. This means that whether you're in the United States, Canada, Europe, or elsewhere, authorized banks in your region will likely be prepared to handle transactions. However, not every bank will participate, which is why it's so important to identify which institutions in your area are authorized and establish a relationship with them now. Call them, ask questions, make sure they're aware you hold dinar, and want to work with them when exchange opportunities arise. One of the most valuable aspects of clear signals from Washington is that they help stabilize investor confidence. When government officials communicate transparently and coordinate with financial institutions openly, it reduces panic, minimizes confusion, and creates a more predictable environment for market participants. For dinar holders, this means the environment is likely to be orderly and manageable when changes occur, rather than chaotic and unpredictable. Confidence is crucial in currency markets. Investors who understand what's happening and feel secure in the process make better decisions. Those who are confused, fearful, or operating on bad information often make costly mistakes. Washington's approach here seems designed to maximize investor confidence and minimize disruption, which is exactly what we want to see. Let me give you some very specific, actionable steps you can take right now to position yourself optimally. First, gather all necessary documentation. I mentioned this earlier, but it bears repeating. Get your identification, account details, proof of dinar ownership, and any other relevant financial documents organized and easily accessible. Create a folder, physical or digital, where everything is in one place. Second, research and identify authorized banks or redemption centers in your area. Not every financial institution will handle dinar exchanges, so you need to know which ones will. Make a list. Note their locations, operating hours, and any appointment requirements they might have. Third, monitor official announcements closely and consistently. Set up systems to ensure you don't miss important news. This might mean subscribing to email alerts, following official social media accounts, or checking specific websites regularly. Timing your actions based on verified information ensures a smoother process and helps you avoid costly mistakes. Fourth, plan for logistics. This might seem minor, but practical considerations matter. If you need to travel to an exchange center, know how to get there. Understand the operating hours. Find out if you need an appointment or if they accept walk-ins. If you have a large amount of dinar, will they be able to process it all at once? Or will you need multiple visits? These details can significantly impact your experience. Fifth, and this is so important, stay patient. Even with official signals and clear preparation, these processes can take time. Currency revaluations and major financial changes don't happen overnight. The implementation of new systems, the verification of transactions, the movement of funds, all of this requires time and careful execution. Rushing or panicking helps no one. Follow procedures carefully, remain calm, and trust that the system is designed to work if you engage with it properly. Let's talk about verification procedures, because this will be a key part of the exchange process. Authorized banks will almost certainly require identity verification, proof that you legitimately own the dinar you're exchanging, and proper account information for receiving funds. For larger transactions, there may be additional compliance requirements related to anti-money laundering regulations or tax reporting obligations. These procedures aren't designed to make your life difficult. They're designed to protect the integrity of the financial system and ensure that exchanges are legitimate. Attempting to bypass or shortcut verification could result in delays, denial of service, or even legal complications. The smart approach is to cooperate fully, provide all requested documentation, and follow procedures exactly as outlined. Strategy is another crucial element here. Washington signals provide a heads up, but the actual implementation of changes may unfold over time. There's a balance to strike between acting too early, which could mean wasted effort or premature moves, and waiting too long, which might mean missing optimal windows of opportunity. The key is to be prepared while remaining flexible and responsive to actual announcements when they come. Think of it like this. You're not trying to predict exactly when something will happen or jump the gun before systems are ready. You're positioning yourself so that when official announcements are made and exchange windows open, you can act quickly and confidently because you've already done the preparation work. Security protocols will be another critical factor in the exchange process. Authorized banks and redemption centers will implement strict procedures to prevent fraud, verify authenticity of currency, and ensure accurate processing. As an investor, your job is to follow these protocols closely. Using unofficial channels or ignoring guidance dramatically increases your risk of fraud, errors, or loss. Compliance isn't just about following rules for the sake of following rules. It's about ensuring that your dinar is handled safely and that you receive the correct value for your holdings. The financial institutions implementing these protocols are doing so to protect you as much as to protect themselves and the broader financial system. Communication with banks is also vital throughout this process. Many financial institutions will provide updates through their official websites, customer service phone lines, or direct communication to account holders. Stay in contact with the banks you've identified as authorized exchange centers, follow their instructions, Ask questions when you're unclear and make sure you understand exactly what steps you need to take. Clear communication reduces confusion and ensures you know what to do at each stage of the process. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Banks expect inquiries during significant financial events, and their customer service team should be equipped to help you navigate the process. From an international coordination standpoint, it's worth understanding that banks around the world are likely receiving similar guidance and preparing similar systems. If you hold dinar in a country outside Iraq, the procedures may be slightly different from those in other jurisdictions, but the core principles will be the same: verification, security, official channels, and proper documentation. Understanding which banks are authorized in your specific country and how they handle these exchanges is critical. Banking regulations vary by jurisdiction, and what works in one country might be different in another. Do your research specific to your location. Scalability is another important factor to consider. When signals from Washington turn into action and exchange windows open, there could be a significant surge in transaction volume as thousands of dinar holders attempt to exchange their currency. Banks and redemption centers are preparing for this by adjusting staffing levels, ensuring adequate cash supply, and upgrading processing systems. For you as an investor, knowing that systems are being designed to handle scale means your transaction is more likely to be processed efficiently, even during periods of peak demand. However, it also reinforces the importance of being patient and following procedures. High volume means systems will be working at capacity, and trying to rush or bypass steps will only create problems. Risk management should be at the forefront of your thinking throughout this entire process. Every decision you make should be evaluated through the lens of minimizing risk. Following official procedures minimizes risk. Using authorized channels minimizes risk. Preparing proper documentation minimizes risk. Ignoring guidance, using unofficial sources, or taking shortcuts dramatically increases risk. Your investment in Iraqi Dinar represents real money, money you've worked for and want to protect. The best way to protect that investment is to engage with the system properly, use legitimate channels, and follow established procedures. It's not exciting or dramatic, but it's effective and safe. There's also a psychological component to all of this that's worth addressing. Signals from Washington are designed to instill confidence and provide clarity, but investors still need to maintain emotional equilibrium. Currency markets can be stressful, especially when you've been waiting for years for movement. Panic, rushed decisions, or emotional reactions can lead to serious mistakes. The antidote to emotional decision-making is preparation and knowledge. When you understand the process, when you've prepared properly, when you know what to expect, you can remain calm and make rational decisions. Psychological readiness is just as important as logistical readiness. So what should you expect next? Based on the signals we're seeing from Washington, it appears that official announcements or concrete policy actions may follow in the coming weeks or months. The exact timing is impossible to predict with certainty, but the pattern of preparation we're observing suggests things are moving forward. When those announcements come, investors who have prepared will be ready to act. Those who haven't will be scrambling, confused, and at a disadvantage. Which category do you want to be in? Let me recap the essential action steps for dinar holders right now. Number 1, prepare all documentation, identification, proof of ownership, account details, anything you might need. Number 2, identify and establish contact with authorized banks and redemption centers in your area. Number 3, monitor official announcements closely through verified channels only. Number 4, understand verification and exchange procedures so you know what to expect. Number 5, plan your logistics strategically, including timing, travel, and practical considerations. Number 6, commit to following all security and compliance protocols without exception. Number 7, maintain patience, stay calm, and remain informed throughout the process. Following these 7 steps ensures you're ready to act efficiently, securely, and successfully when the opportunity arises. This isn't complicated, but it does require attention, discipline, and commitment to doing things the right way. The bottom line is this: Washington's signals indicate that preparation, transparency, and security are the priorities for any potential changes in the dinar market. As an investor, your focus should mirror those priorities. Prepare thoroughly, use authorized channels exclusively, and plan strategically. This approach maximizes your chances of success and minimizes your risk of problems. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one more time the importance of ignoring rumors and unofficial sources. The dinar market has been plagued by misinformation for years, and that's not going to stop just because real developments are potentially on the horizon. In fact, as legitimate movements start to happen, the misinformation will likely get worse as scammers try to take advantage of investor excitement and confusion. Your defense is simple: verify everything. If you can't confirm information through an official source, treat it as unreliable. It's better to be cautious and miss out on a rumor than to act on false information and make a costly mistake. Patience and verification will serve you far better than trying to be first or taking risks with unconfirmed information. Alright, that's the complete update on what Washington is signaling to dinar holders and what you need to do about it. The signals are real, the preparation is happening, and investors who take this seriously and prepare properly will be in the best position when changes occur. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button. It helps more dinar holders find this content. Subscribe to Dinar today if you haven't already, and make sure notifications are turned on so you never miss an important update. We're committed to bringing you clear, factual information without the hype or misinformation that plagues this space. Drop a comment below and let me know. How prepared are you for potential developments in the dinar market? What steps have you already taken? And what questions do you still have? I read every comment, and I love hearing from this community of informed, serious investors. That's all for today's episode of Dinar Today. Remember, in currency investing, knowledge, preparation, and following official channels make all the difference. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next video.